Welcome back. It's time for our second hour of Blades here on the Easter edition. We now have some information to disclose. Yes?
Yeah. Miss Cataby took her chances and ingratiated herself with the angry mob and has learned some stuff. Before I just start telling you things, Marcus, is there anything in particular that Miss Cataby would be trying to find out, or just are you just generally
definitely like the identity of the person or what their sort of affiliation would be with anyone, like what is that connection, and then I guess like as subtext, like anything, any underlying reason why this is taking place, maybe outside of the obvious ones.
Yeah. So there's two competing theories here, which is partially why things are becoming contentious and kind of violent. It's not a singular idea among the mob. One group, the people who were there first, who are making a lot of noise about how they saw everything, and everyone who showed up later like missed what's really going on, and they don't understand. And the people who got there early are saying that they saw a spirit warden brought out, and that they think that the spirit wardens and the church like executed one of their own. And there's talk among the mob among these people that they heard through the grapevine that Flint, everyone knows that he was into that kind of thing. The spirit trafficker, people whisper under their breaths, Flint, they're saying he was actually a spirit warden, and he was being publicly executed to show that they were incorruptible, or as punishment, or who knows what. But people are like, yeah, I saw it was definitely a spirit warden that they were burning, which is a bit weird, but people are making up stories about why that would be, and they're attaching it to Flint. There's this buzz now that Flint was involved, and maybe that he was a spirit warden, and that they were executing one of their own in public. But the other people that have shown up, they have their own theories. They're saying it was one of the Dimmer sisters, because everyone knows they're witches. It's just common knowledge that they're witches in the city, and they finally caught one of them. And it must have been one of them Dimmer sisters. And the buzz in the crowd, and like this, Cataby, like everyone in Crowsfoot and in the underworld knows that the Dimmer sisters are witches. That's just like the thing that everyone always says.
Right.
The crowd, the latecomer crowd, is starting to get ideas in their head that they need to go get them. That then this will all be over. It's the damn Dimmer sisters. We all know it. They're behind everything. And the first people are like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not what we saw. It was one of their own. They killed a spirit warden, and they're arguing about that. But this outer section of the crowd, the really angry mob that's forming, they're starting to talk about,
what's our relationship with them, the Dimmer sisters, if any?
Not much.
It's
positive though, right?
You have
we
plus
have a positive.
Yeah. You have +2 status with them, and you know that Rune is
right
friendly with them.
One of them is on my friends list.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
It just sounds
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like confide in you and are like, yeah, because some people know that you're involved in some weird stuff too, and they're like, yeah, Cataby, you know where those Dimmer sisters are, yeah, you probably know something. You can help us out. These spirit wardens, they're just gonna keep doing this. They're gonna keep doing this until they get what they want. And yeah, well, let's just go get them. I know where they are, and you can tell they don't know where they actually live or anything. But this mob is like forming up to to take action.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I attempt to defuse
You can, yeah.
by basically by basically saying like, well, this is exactly what they want you to do. You know, like, can't you see it's us versus them? And this is what they want you to do. Go after their enemies for you.
Oh, yeah, you want to take that angle, like the lower class angle, like we don't need to do their dirty work for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you hit your desperate role. You're in a position to do this. It is quite a risk. They obviously they could turn on you as someone who doesn't have the same ideas that they do. And there's a lot of them. There's a big crowd.
Yeah, Berkeley all over again.
So yeah, I think it's desperate again, but I think it's desperate and great again. I think you totally have the opportunity because people do kind of look to you. The people in the know, they know you're connected to this kind of thing. They're kind of interested in your opinion. You have a chance. You have a chance to sway this crowd.
Can I push myself too then?
Yeah, you can push yourself. Yep.
Okay. So desperate, great, and then +2.
+1 for pushing yourself.
But then, oh right, because this isn't necessarily weaving the web. This is just
no.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's cool.
For swaying the crowd. You feel they're about to, like
Crit.
Oh
Crit.
fuck yes.
shit.
There you go.
There it is.
And wait, so I have a question because this is my last XP in Resolve. Can my consort go up to 4?
Yeah, they can.
Ooh, shit.
Before.
We're doing it. Boom.
I got a couple
Nice.
5s too, man. It's totally easy.
6, 7. There's no limit in the imagination.
That's what
That
we're
was
saying.
dope. Yeah. So I mean, tell us how this goes, Marcus. Like, there is an actual angry mob forming. They're about to go into their houses, get their butcher knives, light torches, walk over to Crow's Foot, and like hunt witches. And Miss Cataby puts it
It's
into
the
them.
Braveheart speech, bro.
And, I mean, Jeff called it, right? Like, my back's turned to the craziness that's going on where this person was just executed and they're like looking upon me with that chaotic scene in the background. And like suddenly in the most, stoic way that Academy has ever been seen, like she starts saying like, again, going into this is exactly what they want you to do. Can't you see they're getting you to feed off of each other? Like, this is silly. We should be, we should put our anger and our energies elsewhere. Don't let these people control us. Like, they want to, just the whole 9 yards.
Nice.
I start
Nice.
pacing. Like, use every big word that Cataby knows. It's just,
Mhm.
maybe make some analogy to like gambling away our lives and, think she sounds super smart when it's happening. And yeah.
Yeah, nice. I think it's like in waves, right? Like the people that right around you, they're familiar with you. They understand that you might know something. And then as you start vamping up your speech, they start shushing people behind them, and it like goes out further until behind you is the chant and the church song rising in its crescendo. And then we finally see the mob. Like, people have actually stopped in their tracks before going back home to arm themselves. And
yeah, actually, could my thing be like the best thing that you could do is just go back home?
you got
leave.
a crit, right? Like you
show them we don't care. And like try to convince everyone to just basically leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get some additional benefit with your crit, right? So you could turn the mob into like doing something else, which like disperse, just stop being a mob. That would count as telling them what to do. Yeah. You can totally do that. So I will. That is a very interesting crit there, Marcus. I'm going to untick. So I have a clock on the like
It's fucking close.
the snitch pressure, basically. I was starting my pressure for everyone to snitch on witches and demon stuff clock. I'm gonna zero it back out.
Nice.
Basically, Cataby, you convince the assembled people who are really interested in getting this over with and getting all the witches captured. They're like, yeah, that you're right. This isn't even our job. So yeah, I'm the snitch clock is back to
Boredom
zero.
Elemental says, "Tell them you love them, and don't forget you're loved."
Nice. Yeah, so you guys back in the alley after anime magic happens. You see out in the square like all this you hear a loud voice indistinctly making a speech, and then all the yelling and the fighting and stuff. This crowd just sort of magically dissipates, and everyone wanders back home until all that's left is the church faithful singing by the bonfire, and Miss Cataby strolling back to you as the crowd parts and everyone goes home. And that whole vibe, like that vibe, although I'm sure you're very familiar with this, like that vibe on the street when like people are angry and like you got to keep your head down and everyone's snitching on everybody else and everyone's giving each other dirty looks, and like that just completely dissipates, and the whole vibe of the crowd flips over to like, yeah, fuck those spirit wardens anyway. We should. This isn't our problem, and everybody just calmly goes back to their lives.
Cool.
Nicely
Nice.
done. Nicely done.
Nice.
Cool. So I think that's the end of that scene there. The bonfire street scene. You guys have handled the various problems that it presented you. And now we're back. Maybe we're back at the library afterwards, having a bit of a powwow. I think perhaps.
Yeah, we're like barely in, not even at the table or whatever. And Careless is like, we should be a bit more sneaky with our further operations. I take full responsibility. Killing the spirit wardens in the street was a bit brash, a little bit more forward than I think we should. They've really stepped up their game. It could make things harder for us.
For me in particular.
Mhm.
Soon as well, yes. I'm actually going to do it. I haven't done this yet. I'm putting my foot down. We're gonna be more sneaky, and that's that. I don't want to hear another word about it. I'm going to my room. Eat a little bit. If we need anything, let me know. This is me. All right. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm mad at myself. And like
Just disappointed.
Yeah.
All right. Careless puts his foot down. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think inside there's a relief, like, well, it's about time. So I have no problem with it. I'm happy to hear it.
I'm just
Nice.
trying to figure out how we like actually operate without like using magic and stuff. Or I don't know. And we don't know how long. Can I like do something to figure out how long until we're gonna get hit by this thing again? The wave
Yes.
of like revealing
totally
or
can.
whatever.
You have the
should probably
ritual
do that.
special ability, which lets you create rituals, but it also lets you like study to figure that kind of stuff out. So you can make a study roll if you want, and I will.
Study.
It's basically like a fortune roll here, so it's like controlled
Mhm.
standard, and we'll see
Okay.
how much you can piece together about how this ritual works.
5.
Pretty good, yeah. All but the most secret details. So the pulse thing happens every day. At the time the fire was lit the next day. So
Okay.
this was like afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon it'll happen again until the fire burns down. So
Can we
if
just go
they're
put the fire out
right, yeah,
with like a bucket?
if they keep feeding the fire, I mean it's the size of I don't know. It's like
It's
three
a magical bucket,
three school
Joe.
buses.
Okay, but what about rainstorm?
Right, that fire and rain.
Is that a
you know,
rain dance room?
that's a thing.
Tempest. You can do
Exactly.
that.
That is a thing you can do. Yeah. So you know that you don't know how they like the ritual costs and how they cast it.
Mhm.
But you can tell how often it's going to happen, and then what will destroy it, which is the fire. As long as they keep feeding the fire in a mundane sense, like adding logs to it, then
Right.
the spell will keep going.
What's the name of guy? What's the name? It's Prospector Dunval, you said, right?
Dunville.
Preceptor is his title.
Okay. And
Yeah,
that's the guy we ended last episode with, right?
Yeah, he's the guy who confronted you at the church and wanted to have like a meeting, and you guys know that he's not actually a church official.
Of course.
He's a undercover Circle of Flame person.
Yeah, we have that sheet, the cheat sheet basically lets us know. You kind of left off
I'll bring that up.
Episode with us being okay with saying that we did set up a time to meet with him. Is that okay? Right?
Yes, you did. He basically, you guys were like sparring back and forth a little bit, and sort of, I don't know, playing it tough with each other. So he was like, okay, yeah, I will totally meet you at this place of my choosing and time of my choosing. And you were like, fine, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So,
I think comically then, like, Careless goes into his little nook, and then like maybe a minute later, or like 45 seconds later, he comes marching back downstairs, kind of stands and looks at everyone and says, well, I've calmed down. I've had enough time to relax, and I know our next move. I have located Precept Dunville. Preceptor. Thank you, Rune.
Preceptor.
Your words sometimes confound me. He has infiltrated the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, which of course is completely ridiculous by all standards. But we also should just go ahead and take this meeting that I've set up with him. He will be the next ring up on the ladder, as I understand the saying to go, for our pursuit of ultimate information on the people. I believe they're called the Circle of the Flame. Circle of Flame. Not even the Flame.
Are we killing him?
Most likely. I think that is how most of these things do end. But he is an important character. He's fairly far up there. He's just below the 7, as we can see here on our chart. That was
We have like a chalkboard.
sent to us.
Yeah,
It's like gone in 60 seconds. We've got the like wall. You have to see like the black light.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to remind everyone, and this again, it's to me mostly, that this meeting is to be quiet. We've already attracted so much attention, or heat, if you will. We need to put that down. And he's just saying all that, looking at Aldo. You're a very talkative bunch.
Aldo,
You're muted.
you're muted, Aldo.
Sorry. And I look at you and I go, what? Because I'm the one who killed or, blew the eyes out of 6 or 7 spirit wardens right in the street in front of everybody. I'm the one who brought heat down upon us. Right.
No, Aldo, you appear to be confused. That was me that did those things. I was the one that made that problem.
Oh, right. That was you, wasn't it?
It moved very quickly, and I could see how
Right.
that was complicated for a lot of people, not just you.
Yes.
But proceeding forward, we should make sure and not do those things. He's like still looking at Aldo, but he's like, but I did that. So,
All right.
very
So
good.
what do you want me to do? You want
I
me
will kill this man, most likely, but it's after we extract information, and it can't spill out in the street. It has to be very quiet.
Right. Okay, well, we can do that. What kind of info do we need out of him?
Information on the what are they called again? It's Circle of Flame. They're ghost people.
Right.
The 7.
Well, pardon me for being a fool, but are we trying to stop this activity in the middle of the town or whatever with the flames and the wings and all that stuff. Are you saying that's our key? That's a way in to doing that?
Well, best I can tell, the spirit wardens right now are trying to locate ghostly people. And the 7 are, from what we can tell, again, this is not absolute information. I lack that. These are most likely very powerful spirits themselves. We've encountered a little bit of that.
Mm.
So we probably should deal with the flame, as that is what is repressing Rune from being, and you'll have to pardon me for limiting you, but mega effective. When she can do things with her powers, she's very effective. Without it, she's still effective. Just not as much.
Okay, so I guess like one of the major points I was confused on, I guess. The people who are doing this ritual are the Circle of Flame.
No, spirit wardens, most likely.
That's what I said. Okay. That's what I thought.
But the Duneville guy is of the
Yeah,
circle.
I think it's fair to say, based on like our ongoing conspiracy thing, which you as characters have a little better access to. As players, we have a week between sessions, and it's easy to like let these things slip your mind. And your characters, I think, have it more in mind, maybe, that the Circle of Flame and the Reconciled are working together to try and find these artifacts.
Right.
And which Miss Cataby has one of, in
Right.
case we've forgotten. And the Duneville is a member of this conspiracy between the Circle of Flame and the Reconciled Ghosts, and he's infiltrated the church, who's their enemy. And it seems like he was behind this ritual bonfire. So I think it would be a fair assumption to make that the bonfire was being used towards those ends, that Duneville was doing this not necessarily for the church's benefit or the spirit warden's benefit, but for his own benefit, under the disguise of it being a spirit warden thing or a church thing or whatever. I think that's the type of impression you guys would get, because he's a undercover plant, and he was behind the bonfire. So it would
And to
be
be fair, Zeke, because I might have confused things, the Reconciled are the ghosts. It's the Circle of Flame. We don't know. They're probably not ghosts, but they're working with them. Is why I got confused myself.
Right.
So I retconned that. That's what I actually said then.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I again, like, your characters kind of get this, and we have to remind ourselves of all the details.
Careless is way smarter than Jeff, so I'm just gonna.
So, what do the spirit wardens have to do with this? Just to clarify.
They were pawns, probably, from Duneville.
Okay.
Because of all the open violence against them and all the strange magical shit that's been going on in the city, they want to find you guys too and take care of this problem. But they're not working with the conspirators. The conspirators want to find this stuff for a different reason. They're just sort of using the spirit wardens as cover.
Okay.
For whatever they're
So
doing.
basically, they're saying the spirit wardens are being killed in the street, so we have to do something.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. Okay.
And that gives them cover to do this huge magic ritual in the middle of the town without people really, freaking out about it.
And everybody knows it's the Circle of Flame that's doing this.
No, everyone thinks it's just the church and the spirit wardens. The Circle of Flame is like a secret society.
It's a cloak and dagger.
We know about it, Zeke, because of the chart.
Right.
Yeah.
People are saying that the townspeople are saying that the ritual in the street is by the hand of the church.
Right.
And when you say, now the church is very vague, like the church meaning the Church of Ecstasy, or
Yeah. The Church of Ecstasy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because I think of the church, I don't think of demons and shit. Like that kind of like. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's really the only church in the city, the Church of Ecstasy.
Okay, so the Church of Ecstasy of the Flesh is not responsible for this.
It seems like probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's just a cover.
Why aren't they coming out and saying it?
That's a good question.
Because I know two people that are really, one of them is really involved with the Church of Ecstasy of the Flesh, and he might have influence there to say like, "Hey, this was not us."
Mm-hmm. I
Who-
go to
who-
all the meetings.
Who is it that you know there, Zeke?
Careless.
He is involved in the church. Yes, I don't think he has any
All the
official position, but yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have like an actual title or anything. So should we just go talk to Dunville?
Yeah.
And then we may or may not kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Along the
before-
line. Go ahead.
Hey,
Before we go, I just want to take a minute before we go. Like, we can keep talking about what we're gonna do, but before we actually go there, I want to take a minute with Rune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
she has to slap you, I guess, and defriend you forever. All right. Or that. Just to wrap up this, though, Careless kind of like circles it back and is like, but I want us to get back to our roots. Our roots, as an assassin group, is we do things quietly, and mostly we blame it on others. I really want us to get back there. So if we can find a way to really punish this guy by having him framed perhaps for all the heat that we've taken on, or getting it away from the church, or turning the church into a closer ally of ours that we can use, because we've seen that they're able to call up pretty powerful stuff, including connections to the spirit wardens. These are just ideas. Cataby, this is your department. You're so smart, so beautiful, so great at what you do. If you could do that, take it up and just kind of churn it around in that little noggin of yours, that beautiful, perfect little noggin, and come out with an idea on how to do that, that would be wonderful. That's all I ask. And that we kill some people, but quietly.
It should be noted also that Myth is not with us currently. I had to send him to the Dimmer Sisters because of this ritual that's occurring in the square.
Very good. Then we must extinguish that flame immediately so that Myth can return to its carnal ways.
And
Well,
just to be
Go for it.
just to be clear, we're going to meet Dunville not with the intention of killing him. We're going to come back again, or are we going to plan to kill him while we're talking to him? Kind of important in order to, create an alibi and
Right.
possibly frame.
I want you to hatch up a way to make him take responsibility for a lot of what people are worried about right now. What we do know is that he has literally infiltrated the church. So he is in a position of weakness because we know that. And if we were to make the proper people to know of such a thing, it'd be easier to believe he's capable of more nefarious things, like everything that we've done. Or a lot of it.
Got it.
Should he die? I think that's a possibility, but I think we should aim
Before
for...
he does, just make sure everyone hates him. Sure, I can do that.
Also,
Well-
yes, extinguish the fire, but the spirit wardens can always light another one. So we'll need to address that at some point.
Rune would like us to kill all the spirit wardens. See, now that's us dreaming big again. Remember when we were talking about blowing up boats, killing hundreds of people? That's the kind of stuff I want us to get back to. So, Rune,
Well,
wait to get the spirit.
if I may, maybe the best course of action is, instead of us directly putting out that fire, we get, like I saw Miss Cataby get a whole mob to disperse with just a few words. So who's to say that we couldn't get the entire, well, a bunch of the city folk to be against the fire and have them put it out for us, and then they'd think twice before lighting another one, because the people don't want it.
Mm.
So if we could sow the seeds of mistrust in the church, or at least not the church, I'm sorry, at least the ritual. It's archaic, it's old, it doesn't work anymore, whatever you want to say. Then whoever Dunville is lighting it, he'll think twice before trying it again, because the people will riot.
It's a good idea, Zeke, and glad you
Thank you.
heard me. take care of that crowd because that's exactly who I was going to go after again.
Yeah.
That gives me an idea because I've got I have a spirit flask with a ghost that's not Flint. I've got one that is Flint and then one that's not.
Yep.
What if we release this ghost in the middle of like right in front of the fire, and then we could just be like, look, this doesn't work. This spirit warden thing is bullshit. Like they're just trying to scare you to like rile people up and get them to be like against the spirit wardens.
I like that idea too.
Could be part of it, yes. A great idea.
Viva la revolution! Yes. Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, Marcus, that Miss Cataby made a big impression on this crowd of people, and the impression you made was like, go back to your homes. This isn't worth your time. But I think there's a snowball effect, right? Like you could potentially arrange a gathering or something. If you put the word out, people are going to remember from what you did today.
Right.
So I think it's conceivable that is a possible thing for you to do. Normally, Miss Cataby can't just like order up a mob, but
Right.
I think based on what you did earlier, then that's a possibility.
Well, I think we could all help in this little conspiracy together. Like, I could go and talk to my friends with the lost. I've got a friend, Straws, who's kind of an upper crusty kind of a guy. You could talk to all them. Rune, you could talk to the underbelly, the drug people, I'd imagine. Cataby's got the gamblers, and she's got everybody pretty much. And Careless, you have no friends, do you?
Although, if I could feel that feeling of hurt right now, I think it would sting quite pungently, as I understand. But
no, I see. I know. I pick my words. It's all right because I know you don't really care if you have friends or not, except us, of course. Wink. He doesn't. I don't say wink. I just, in case you weren't looking at the camera.
Yeah. He tries to wink you, but he can't.
He just blinks real hard.
Winks both eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, until we do die down this heat, I would ask that we travel in pairs. And normally I would keep it away from a Rune Cataby pairing and more of like an Aldo +1 or a Careless, that's me, +1. So it's going to slow us down, which I do not appreciate. And believe me,
I call Careless.
Very good. Let us set out to do these things, and then we have to meet the preceptor. I'll get that word right one day. Dunville. We have to meet him tomorrow, so we have one day.
You're just terrible with names.
Your language is archaic and simple. It's very hard for me to wrap my head around.
And Careless, just to be perfectly clear, because I think it was clear to Careless, this guy Dunville, like he knows who you are, in the way that you, Len, you know who he is, and his meeting
is a trap.
It is yes. Okay, I thought that was clear last time we talked. I just wanted to make sure that was obvious. Okay, cool.
Of course.
Just checking.
The writing is on the wall.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it sounds like you have a plan, and you have a project that everyone is gonna work on. It sounds like, based on what Zeke just said, you're gonna hit it from different angles and try to assemble a mob at the time and place that you want to, in order to pull off your spirit bottle shenanigans and put it into this thing. Cool.
Is it different engagement role type of things, or just one for the overall operation, do you think?
I think in this case, we will do it as a group project. So I've added a new clock to the roleplay here called the Mob. And everyone can take their actions and fill up this clock. And based on how far you get today, that'll be sort of the size and strength of the mob that you're able to assemble for this
Okay.
operation, and then we'll do the thing. We'll do the plan.
Before we do, Zeke wanted to role play.
Yeah. Wanted to have a word with Rune.
Yeah.
Maybe it's before everyone is splitting off into pairs. It's like, is it Aldo and Cataby and Careless and Rune are gonna head out? So maybe just before that happens, when you're still at the library, you guys have a moment. How do you approach Rune, Aldo?
I just after we decide what we're gonna do, I just Rune, do you have a minute?
Oh, so you do know my name?
Yeah, I do.
Aldo.
Can we talk for a second?
I guess I have a second.
All right. First of all, I'm sorry. I would like to apologize if I was out of line. Now, there was a reason why I said what I said. It's because I see you walking down a very dark path, and business is business. I mean, we're assassins. We kill people, but there's always a reason. And what you were doing to those people, or gonna do, seemed like you were enjoying it. And I've had a little taste of it, and I don't like how I am when I feel that way. And I don't want to see you do the same thing. Does that make sense?
Aldo, do you remember the time we went to the library or to the museum together, and you spent 20 minutes looking at a sculpture?
Yeah.
The things that you enjoy and the things that I enjoy are not the same. You've known me for a very long time, since we were very young, and
Right.
somewhere along the way our paths diverged. You went your way and I went mine. And the things that you saw me doing in that alley were not half as bad as the things that I've done before, nor a quarter as bad as the things that I will do in the future. I appreciate your concern, but you and I are not the same.
Well, I never expected nor wanted us to be the same. I guess the whole point of this, and what I want to hear from you, is basically that you're okay, that I don't need to worry about you. Because it seems like you're starting to really like killing and hurting for no reason. And I don't know, it worries me is all. If I don't need to worry about you, I won't. But that's the only reason why I did what I did.
I spent too many years not being in control, Aldo. I don't want to go back to that place. You don't need to worry about me, but I won't lose control again.
Well, if you could, I'd like you to make me a promise that if you ever feel yourself slipping away or becoming someone that you don't recognize or don't like anymore, that you ask for my help.
Aldo, you're not going to like this, but I haven't liked myself since Belle disappeared, and that'll never change. I just walk away. So Aldo and I are cool now, but I was like done with that conversation because she was just like, no, I'm out.
Oh,
Nope. Nope's right out of there.
Yep. Gone.
Nice.
Right.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So for the you want us to role play all that, or are we just rolling and then...
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
roll.
we
So I think the two of you can do like group actions together if you want, or you can do individual things depending on what you want to do. If you can just let me know like your general approach here, like Aldo and Miss Cataby, you're going around together? I think Careless didn't want you to split up, so maybe if you're following his orders, you don't have to obviously, but maybe we see the two of you hitting up these places like you suggested before. Yazik, is that the general concept? What do you guys what do Aldo and Miss Cataby do to drum up this mob?
Well, I think we don't necessarily have to like stick together through the entire thing, because I'm gonna go to my people, the lost, the urchins, and the street toughs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And spread the word about this ritual just being bunk and being unnecessary, and they're just trying to use fear to scare us because we're poor, and play to their interests. We're poor.
Gotcha.
They just want us to be afraid of them, and that's all they're trying to do. It's just another form of control. Like conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah, that's building on the speech from earlier. I think it like people that you talk to would even be like, yeah, Miss Cataby, yeah, she said that. Like you hear people mention her name. Cool. All right, so you're hitting up the downtrodden, and also the lost are like known for being pseudo vigilantes. Like they actually look out for people and like help people. So if you pitch it in those terms, they're more likely to get involved.
Yeah. And also, I want to get in contact with Straws, my flamboyant friend, who I went to that poetry reading with.
Yeah.
The clever blade, it says, and have him like see if he can help me with his circle of people.
With the somewhat more well-to-do members of society.
Well-to-do, the con men, the performers, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's start with you then. It sounds like you're consorting, obviously. I think that's what this is all about. So
Salt away.
take a bonus die for Straz. He is totally willing to help you. It's a little inconvenient for him in a way. Like if he wasn't your friend, he'd be like, you know what? I just want to stay out of this. I don't want that kind of attention. But because he is your friend, he's like, yeah, okay. This will be fun. So this is basically like a fortune roll. We're seeing how much pull and sway you can get here. So just do controlled standard, and then we'll read it as if it was a fortune roll.
Okay.
For your consort.
Yeah, one second here. There we go.
And take +1.
I just want to make sure something here. Okay. I was just seeing if I could figure out a way to use command instead, but it's not that. So consort.
Yeah. That'd be tricky.
Yeah. You said, I'm sorry, what was the controlled
standard +1.
Control standard +1. Okay. Yes, controlled, please. Thank you. Standard. Bonus dice +1. So I get 1 dice.
Oh, nice.
Do it. Big 6. 6 coming. Here we go. 3. Failed.
All right. That is
I like
one.
that. His character.
That is one tick. So you don't. This is like how much effect you have on building the mob, which is not 0. Obviously, people do listen to Aldo and do care, but you don't quite have that same swaying power when you're not being commanding, when you're actually being friendly with your friends, instead of being like, listen up, you maggots, this is what you're going to do, right? Aldo doesn't have quite as much pull when he's not commanding people. So you help out a little bit. Miss Cataby, what's your angle? What's your mob move?
Yeah, so I think my focus is going to be on the mob itself, and I guess I need to have a side an aside with Rune, because if we're actually going to do the gathering into the releasing the ghost, or it could just be that I use the mob as Jeff had described to kind of put the heat onto the Circle of Flame and Dunville.
Dundil. Yeah.
Dunville. Yeah. So I guess like team, which way do we want to go? Or are we doing a combination of the two?
I think the best angle is along what Rune was saying, was just like make it so that the spirit wards seem ineffective and lighting fires draws ghosts or some weird lie like that, or just like destabilize the mob faith in that and have them become an asset that'll like help put down that kind of stuff maybe.
Do I want to try to stage a gathering to do the ghost release?
Sure. I don't know. Rune?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the argument against that is that like if people see a ghost in the city limits, then maybe they'll feel like it's necessary to have the spirit wardens around.
That's
But
why you'd have to aim the mob in a different direction than that.
Yeah, I think having trying to convince people that they're like, if they really were effective at their job, why would they need to stage this like very public showing of their power? Like, why are they trying to like force it in front of us? And like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely makes sense. Like you'd want them. You're trying to get the church to be very reluctant to do the bonfire. Like if you put it out, you don't want them to just do it again. So you want to have some kind of public outcry. But that's something you can do when the mob is assembled, I think, Marcus. Like once they're there, you can steer their opinion like you did earlier today. It's more about like getting people to come back.
Okay. All right.
To the bonfire.
Then yes, I'm going to my goal is to kind of, I guess, activate the mob again that is in my favor.
Yeah. Do you want to essentially like put the word out based on what you did earlier today? It's the same kind of notion. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, if I played off the like, they're just trying to do dirty work. Maybe it's like, I have more information. Right. So like maybe I'm going to reveal, right, and basically share the right information to get them to not trust them even more, right?
I see. It's like intriguing, like, there's more to it than I told you.
Well, right, because like even in the position when I was with the mob, like I didn't know what was going on necessarily, so I'm using the hook that like, well, now I've got some insight and you're all going to want to hear this.
Nice.
And I feel like that's the best way to sort of conduct them. So
that I love that. That's great. Yeah, because that's totally what the people would want. They want answers. They don't want to be left in the dark all the time and have all this weird shit happening in their city that they don't have any say about and blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's an awesome angle.
Okay.
Take a bonus die, in fact, because that is a excellent way to get a mob of people to show back up again. Is like, hey, there's there's more. There's stuff you don't know. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Tell them there's punch and pie.
Yeah, right.
So this one is more controlled, or is it?
Yeah, it'll be like a fortune roll like Zeke did, basically. Controlled and standard. Take a bonus die.
Okay.
We'll see how much.
Standard with the bonus die.
Yeah.
Boom.
6. Nice.
Lotto die.
So that's 3 more on the clock. That's you're up to about half the mob from before. It was like a huge crowd earlier today, and between the two of you, you got about half of them back. People are starting to talk about it again. Like, yeah, and the word is out in the street now among the lost and among the people that were there earlier. Like, oh, but I thought that was over, And no, it's Cataby. She's gonna be back there. She said there's stuff we don't know. There's stuff we got to find out. I'm like, oh yeah, and the buzz is circulating.
Okay.
Careless and Rune, what are you guys doing?
Well, I think what would make sense for me to do would be to, like how Aldo was saying, to kind of play to the people that we know. And so if I'm getting like magic tattoo drugs, I'm assuming that this kind of thing would hurt their business. So like,
yes, it
I guess to
definitely
consort
will.
with them and be like, to get their support.
Like the criminal element, so to
Right.
speak. Interesting. Yeah, this is super bad for their business.
Yeah.
And they've been under the Spirit Warden's thumb. Like the last 2 times you went to get tattoos, there were like Spirit Warden checkpoints around where the tattoo parlor is even. So
Mhm.
they've been putting up with this crap forever.
Right.
And that Quellen is involved with that gang, the tattoo gang. So you can take her as a bonus die for your contacts to help reach out to those people.
Okay. Cool.
I assume you're consorting unless you want to approach
I
them
think
some
that
other way.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Consort. Controlled standard.
With a
One
bonus
bonus
die for Quellen. Yep.
I'm gonna push myself also to get an extra.
Nice.
So 2 bonus die.
Yeah.
6.
Boom. Nice.
Nice.
So that's 3 more. 3 more ticks. It's looking good. You've just about got the entire mob assembled again. So yeah, I think Quellen, she goes with you, or she's already there. Maybe when you're there, talking to the clientele and the hawkers, the bloodletters who
Quellen's
sell
the
the
healer, right? That it knows about our lair.
Yeah.
She's also a witch, so this is also bad for her.
Yeah, and she's kind of been hanging out over there more at kind of that something has happened. Like she talked to Aldo, or you don't really know what's going on, but you know that there's some tension between her and this other gang and you guys, and you guys had that awkward interaction. And like last time you were at the tattoo parlor, where she was like, "Oh, hey, yeah."
Right.
So this time she's a little more confident, and she introduces you to one of the like lieutenants of this gang. The people call him Cyclops because he wears an eye patch. He has one eye. He's the huge bald dude covered in sailor tattoos, and he kind of dresses like Aldo now. He wears like these nice suits that barely fit his huge frame. And when you talk to him about what's going on, he's just like scowling and like, yeah, that's been a problem for a while now. Those fucking bastards. Yeah, so this is gonna spit in their eye then? Is that the plan?
Yeah, he's like standing behind Rune.
Yeah.
Are you
That's
there too,
the idea?
Careless?
Oh yeah.
Nice, yeah. So he sees your like grin, I assume, Careless, and he smiles. He's like, yeah, anything to spit in their eye. All right, I'll bring the boys. And he kind of looks around, and there's toughs hanging out. You can tell the bloodletters are like in some kind of heightened situation. Maybe they're at war or something. There's lots of guys hanging around with weapons and things.
Yeah.
And he kind of includes the group in his gaze, and they're all just nodding like, yeah, fuck those spirit wards. We're sick of their shit. So yeah, you've gotten back the sort of street types. You've drawn in some nobility. You've got some armed criminals that are going to show up. Careless, do you want to see if you can finish this clock off?
Sure.
Do you have an idea for a way to get the mob?
Well, no, I'm just a bodyguard. I mean,
okay, that was Rune's operation. You were there to protect her.
all this as far to say is I have no friends even.
I'm your friend. Remember when I picked you?
That's right. But
Yeah.
you're already a part of the operation. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any. He doesn't go anywhere or anything like that.
I think since you're the bodyguard, you should have an opportunity here to survey the scene.
Nice. Should I roll it?
Yeah, make a survey roll for me. Controlled standard.
Oh, 1.
All right.
Well,
So
at
They can't all be sixes, guys.
Worst things
Yeah.
have happened.
You guys come and go through this territory, and everything is heightened, right? Spirit wardens are on the corners. You guys have to like go through the underground canals, pop out to keep from being seen. It's a pain in the ass to get through here, and there are people always watching. There's always someone looking out a window, or a street kid following someone down an alleyway. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary though, Careless. It's the general heightened problem with the spirit wardens in the districts, but you don't pick out anything in particular that's pointed at you. Cool. So it's time for our second break. We've got our mob assembled. When we come back, we will see if Miss Cataby can turn them once again into a force for the last word.
We will try, won't we?
Yeah,
we will try. Final hour of Blades coming up here in just a moment. So will we gather the mob? We have a small one. We'll try to make it a little bit bigger. Don't go away. We'll be right back.